And thanks for staying with us. So much happening on the security front in the country. Joining us now to speak about the security situation across the country is a professor of international law and security, Ademola Abass. Good to have you join us, Professor Abass.
Thank you.
I mean, when you see all that is playing out in the country, we've seen kidnapping, we've seen cattle rustling, we've seen now, which is even the very critical issue, is the attack on critical government infrastructure in parts of the South and the Southeast. What do you make of all of this?
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for having me. Well, look, Nigeria is going down the drain. We need to take specific steps, concrete ones, to reverse them. It gets more worrying when you begin to see that, as you've said, attention is now being shifted partly from attacking individuals and taking them for ransom and attacking critical infrastructure. The other day, I saw this footage on WhatsApp, you might have seen it, where people actually came and sawed rail lines in part of the country. Now, imagine a train going down without knowing that they've already cut off part of. That is terrible, and the question is, how do we roll back on all this? How did we get there? It's a very fundamental question. Look at what is going on in South today and Southeast. And I would have thought that if really we are serious about addressing the crisis that we have on hand, the federal government should take certain steps. As the Yorubas would say, you can't shave somebody's head in their absence. You cannot convoke a national security meeting and not have a representative who could speak.
The last meeting
that was held, in a Premier Villa. And everybody at that meeting, no single person was from whether Southeast or Southwest or South. And the decisions taken had to do with millions of people who live in Southeast and South.
But simultaneously, Professor Abass, the governors or the people who governors who should have represented the people of the South and the Southeast were also having and Southwest as well, also having the meeting on the same day in Asaba, and which is taking me to my next question: how? Because you made a statement earlier with some people we might disagree with in terms of you said Nigeria is going down. Of course, we have our challenges at this moment, and I want to take the resolutions from which is now being called the Asaba resolution from that meeting, where the governors said a national summit or dialogue is needed. How does that play into the security challenges and the agitations we're having at this time?
Well, thank you very much. Look, first let me clarify. I said Nigeria is going down the drain. If you're not going up, you are going down. There's no stagnation in history. We can't just stagnate. We are worse off today, concretely, than we were a few years ago. Let's be honest with each other here. That doesn't mean that we're a banana republic here. That doesn't mean that all hope is lost. But we must understand that things are not moving the way they should be moving. So let's put that one on that. Now, in terms of your question, in terms of the resolutions and how do they par with what we have at the moment, you have to look at the resolutions. You have to look at the meeting that was held in Asaba, the Asaba Accord. What are the crux of the meetings? We're talking about national dialogue. Now, to be honest with you, it's a great suggestion, but the question is, what kind of dialogue do we need now? We've had many dialogues. We've had national conferences, So the problem is not about how many more dialogues we want to have. It's whether you are ready to implement. And I'm not saying we shouldn't make one more try. If there is seriousness that is different from the kind of seriousness we've seen so far or we've not seen with the past confab and past national initiative, if there's going to be a fundamental change in the attitude of everybody. Now here, I'm not talking about ghettoization. I'm not talking about Southeast, Southwest, North. Nigeria is still one today. And I bet that what everybody wants for Nigeria today is to work. We want to make that unity work. And that is the bottom line. So if you want to have a national dialogue, let's know that there is going to be seriousness at implementing whatever decisions are reached. There is no point in just having discussion for discussion's sake. We're getting tired of that. Now, have they implemented the report of recommendations of 2014 confab? The answer is no. What has gone wrong with that? Nobody has really taken them. So where is the guarantee that if we have another dialogue now, is going to work?
And when you look at the 12-point agenda listed in that resolutions by the state governors, it is now generating controversy around the country. What's your thought on those resolutions, whether the ban on open grazing or the call for the evolution of state policing?
Look, thank you so much for bringing that on. When you look at all the recommendations or the resolutions, if you break them, they're in two parts, the controversial and the non-controversial. And typically in Nigeria, The non-controversial when the governors say, oh, we are going to cooperate, oh, we believe in Nigeria unity, the usual hortatory statements that they will make anyway, whether you like it or not. But then let's look at what has been generating controversy. The southern governors say, look, we believe in the unity of this country, as I do, and I'm sure as you do, but unity must be premised on peace, on justice. You can't have peace without justice. And they're saying, look, we're not against anybody, carrying their cattle around, but we are saying we must have ranches for this cattle. We can't afford open grazing. Now, don't forget that when cattle enter your farm and plunder your farm and savage your farm, it directly affects the food security of people. Whether you are from the south or you are from the north, it's immaterial. Food security is threatened. They're saying, let's ban open grazing. There's nothing wrong with that because already some of those states have already enacted laws to that effect. And they're saying, look, let's have state policing. Ideally in security, the truth is security is very, very local at the end of the day. You've got to reconfigure the local government to be able to do the job of security. You've got to have state policing. Look at a country like America. Even some universities have policing, systems on campuses, apart from the counties, apart from the state. So there is nothing wrong, in whether you are from the north or south, I don't care. But there's nothing wrong in Nigeria as a country having state policing system. So that's another thing that they brought that is, and it's just a shame that when things like this happen, let's be honest, there will be a lot of emotions. I have read some people from part of the country saying, oh, the governors cannot just sit, in some hotel and in the east, in Asaba, and then say they will just ban open. Look, that they didn't consult. To be honest with you, if I want to check burglary in my house, I don't call burglars to a meeting and say, I want to forbid burglary, this is what I'm going to do. I don't do that. I'm a governor. My first responsibility is to secure my people. And I'm not doing that by attacking anybody at all. All I'm saying is that this is my state. If you want to come and bring your cattle to my state, let's have ranches for you. That is not a problem.
All right. Just so much to talk about because the security situation is still evolving, but I'm afraid we do have to leave it there. Professor of International Law and Security, Ademola Abass, thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure.